Put his mic's on.
Yep. Good?
Yeah.
All right. Good evening, everybody. We'll call this meeting of the Buckfield Select Board to order. It is March 3rd, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. We do have a quorum here tonight, and we're going to start off with executive session pursuant to 36 MRS subsection 841 to deliberate over an application for abatement. So what we're going to do is we'll move upstairs and leave everyone down here, and then we'll come down afterward and continue the meeting. We'll re-adjourn.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? All right. Leave your mics.
I'm off.
Right.
Judy will be back after.
turn the audio and everything on. All right, you're good to go.
All right, we're gonna come out of executive session at 7:13 PM. No decisions were reached. We're gonna consult with the attorney and get some more information on that before we move forward. And another portion of this will be covered later in the meeting. All right, consent agenda.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as written.
Oh, second?
Further discussion? The animal control report's in there. I always find that interesting.
Yes, and I saw that the library has renewed its pass for the Maine Mineral and Gem Museum in Bethel.
Oh.
If you haven't made it up there, I really recommend it.
On the budget, or I'm on the animal control one here.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Library.
Gotcha. Yes. 7 felines safely captured. Total calls 7. Yep. All right. Library report. All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right.
I wasn't here last month,
This wasn't the minutes, this is the consent agenda.
Oh, okay. Okay,
All right.
you're right.
She was reading ahead.
And the total on that, yeah, the total on that for payroll and accounts payable is $288,213.92.
Move the motion second. Give me the motion second. Thank you.
Approval of the minutes from the February 17, 2026 select board meeting.
I will make the motion to approve.
I'll second that. Further discussion? All those in favor? It's just us 3, yep.
Mhm.
Sandra
was here January
and
20th.
Joanne.
I was here January 20th.
17th?
You weren't
This is approval of the January 20th.
February 17th. Oh, you have the old packet there that was still at your seat. Your other packet's underneath you. It's because you weren't here, so I left your face.
No, I appreciate that. Did I spot them all? I did. That's my. No. This Tuesday, March 5th.
Should say under for February 17th.
Is somebody messing with you?
3. Go to the front page.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
so
that's
that
the
was,
February 7th, that's the February 17th.
This is the actual minutes themselves, so. So you're.
Sit down, Cam.
We got it.
I just want to make sure you're seeing the right side.
So, you gotta catch her up here now. What she needs. Yeah. I'll stop in and visit.
I made the mistake. I want to fix it.
Yeah, I know. That's fine. It's my mistake. I apologize. But not paying attention where else.
All right, winter sand bids.
Well,
You want to help me open?
oh, I got the thing.
Yeah,
we received 3 bids before the deadline.
we need to make a decision on this tonight, or are we gonna?
Well, I would, each of you review them. Well, you don't have, this is going to play a part in the budget because
Yeah.
Mhm.
I currently have an amount budgeted for winter sand,
Yep.
but I wrote that based off of not having the bids. So,
We should if we can.
I've gotcha.
so even if you don't make a decision, if we know what we're looking at roughly, that would help with the projection. Because I haven't seen these either.
Right.
Yeah,
Was there a meeting, that piece of paper, with that number I asked for?
I sent you a text,
Send me a text.
but I think I came,
Let's pull it out.
I think I came.
I haven't seen that one yet. Gotcha.
Sorry about it. Be that much more to legal. That's the difference.
This isn't the one that's in here. This would be if it were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. The other one I had was the Ace Two, and I already team hauled.
Bob, you can read them aloud. It's public record.
Oh, okay. I'd need them back to read them
Or
over.
Bob can read them aloud.
Yeah, Sandra's getting this.
She's got the
She's
stats.
into the lines.
Yeah.
So we typically haul ourselves. However, I did ask them to give us the price hauled and the price delivered. And then we can base it off of that. Like our current trucks, we're down to 2 trucks right now. One of them needs some work. So knowing that we need, you know, that we need to do 229 loads. Hopefully, if we went with the full 3,200 yards, which is usually split into 2 different, we usually haul in 2,500 yards initially. And then as the winter progresses, if we get low, we'll pick up more. That's where we're at now. We're running low.
Okay, we just, how many loads?
For the full 3,200 that we budget for is 229 loads.
229 trips.
Yes.
So distance matters.
If we're picking it up.
So these are our 3?
Yes, you have all 3.
Okay, so we have 3 bids here in no particular order. Name of company C.H. Stevenson. And this is, now it's Walton Road in Wayne. Price per yard picked up is $8. And price per yard hauled by the vendor is $15. Second, W.A. Lucas Enterprises LLC, located on Mountain Road in Hebron, Maine. Price per yard picked up is $11.50, and price per yard hauled by vendor is $17. And our third, Aceto Sand and Gravel, Litchfield Road in Sabattis, Maine. Price per yard picked up is $10, and price per yard hauled by the vendor is $18. Hebron's definitely the closest.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
in Sabattis.
We have a number idea of per mile cost.
No, I'm just looking at a grand total. You're talking about cost for me to send my guys to go pick it up?
Right.
Way more than. That's a pretty in-depth calculation based off the time.
Okay, so that
Pay
is
them,
typically what we're
wear and
putting
tear
into
drive.
it.
So we have been hauling and it beats the crap out of our trucks.
Yep.
yes, it's convenient, it saves the taxpayers money, but on that end, but it does not save on the maintenance of the vehicle. I'm just trying to figure out what I had. I think originally in my proposed budget, I had based it off of picking it up, and I think I estimated 12 or 1250. It's written in my notes. Did I do 12?
I think at that point, then we need to look at that. 12 isn't the total cost.
Right.
Because it would be the $12 plus.
It takes my crew a full 2 weeks to haul 2,500 yards,
Mhm.
if that's all they're doing. So we're losing 120 hours worth of labor.
We're paying them and the wear and tear on vehicles, and so at some point in doing the math, it seems to me it would come out that it would actually be a good move on our part to have the vendor grant us that. In the bigger picture, that will save us money.
Find out if different know more.
What page is that winter sand on?
You're on page 41. You know, $12.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes?
Does our crew have to help put it up, or they need to dump it and we gotta put it in the file? We ran for, do that, or that they require that part?
That wasn't written into the RFP, because again, it was a, just let us know what it was. So we would be stacking it. Use the loader and the excavator. We have all the equipment for it. That's one guy as opposed to tying up the entire crew.
Just do the work.
Walton Road.
I believe it's in Wayne.
Wayne?
Yeah, they're from Wayne.
So again, yeah, it takes my crew 2 weeks to haul out of Hebron. If we were to go somewhere else, obviously
Wayne's
you'd
quite
have
a
to
bit
take
further,
it. Yeah, same with Sabata. Load.
229.
So nonstop, 10 hours, 4 days a week. That's not very many loads a day.
Then your truck breaks down.
That was my first thought. The truck breaks down and we're like, ah.
So
Yes.
in the past, in other people's experience, what should we take into consideration other than our price per yard?
I think location's a big factor. Because even if they're hauling it from Wayne or Sabatis and their truck breaks down, then when is our sand pile gonna get filled? Excuse me?
That's it. You have a contract, you have a contract with delivery.
Right, but it's one thing to say we have a delivery date, but if they can't get it to us. And then we're having to haul it, and they're paying us, but.
I don't know if we can or should factor that in, right?
Historically, if somebody goes to the local then that I. Awful.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not like everybody there. is,
No, well,
I hired Steven and bad ones. It's all bad.
It was
that's
You know,
Ito.
$18 hauled. Yep. I'm going to make the motion that we accept the bid from CH Stevens for $15 hauled. Per square yard hauled.
Well, for the purpose of discussion, I'll second
Yeah.
that
okay.
motion. Do we have to, we don't have to decide tonight whether or not we're going to have it hauled or picked up. It's just the company that we accept.
We're just trying to give Cam an idea for his
I'm
budget.
just trying to figure out what I have to put into the workbook to tell you how much.
But I
taxes
just
are
want
gonna
to
be.
make sure that what we vote on, we're picking a company
Mhm.
rather than, I don't want to lock us into
The hauling,
hauling it if we,
well, them hauling it. I thought-
whichever it is. That
Sorry, I just made that motion because we mentioned historically we haul it and also the wear and tear on our trucks. And we'd rather have that wear on tear on theirs, but I can revise my motion if that's an issue.
No, I think it's a good motion. Then
I know my crew's not gonna complain if they're not having to haul it.
I agree, hauling it is probably the best
Mhm.
option. But if for some reason we decided we wanted to go get some loads and we've all said we're not going to do that.
I get what she's saying. So if we had somebody that was available and we wanted to save some money and go haul a few,
Mhm.
so if you voted just the vendor,
Okay.
we now know what both their prices are.
Because
So that a budget for the highway.
if we accepted the bid from that.
yes, Glenn?
So just curiosity, but you're not, don't have to buy the full amount. That's just the price for what it's buy. You have to pay the whole price. Thirdly, yeah, we bought the minimum. Then extra.
700 is extra, 2,500 of it is what,
So if we want to go get something, go get it. Mine. They'll say it. Bank run all day long, it's whatever. Maybe not that price, but for a couple dollars more.
Right.
Mhm.
Better. And only place you can get it without having to worry about it.
which we already work with multiple vendors.
Right, save money.
Mhm.
I'm sure if you were contracting. Perfect.
So I have an uneducated question.
Don't sell yourself short.
Well, I'm new at this one.
I for one, I for one.
It's been 25 years.
Okay.
Is there, I don't know if this matters, I don't care what kind of sand's on the road, I just want to stop my car and slide. But is there a difference between the type of sand that they're providing for us?
The spec was the spec, so they have to follow the spec.
Okay.
I will revise my motion to strike the specification of hauled.
Second,
All right, further discussion?
so do we want to give weight to the fact that one of these bids comes from a relatively local
Mhm.
company, that we have a history of working with?
Mhm.
I have not specifically asked how well that working relationship has gone, but is
Mhm.
that worth considering?
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to. They're right next door.
Our relationship with them is fine. They provide us the sand. It's been good quality. It's ready when we need it. I have no complaints.
I mean, even pull over to the side of the road when I'm coming home. And then I'll dirt.
Just a location based thing, you know what I mean, is obviously Sodom Road's a gravel road. And that's a lot of, I mean, there's hauling coming in and out of that pit anyways. That would be the only issue that I would say, you know, is just the added traffic back and forth with 2,700 yards just puts more.
On that same point, in my experience, as a sidebar, he also does a lot of
Maintenance. to the road.
maintenance on that road for us.
Mhm.
But
Good to know.
there was that.
$2.
Exactly. You're welcome. You are smart people.
We're the most picked up though. Too. I wasn't expecting that. It's funny the difference, like you got one that's lower picked up, but more hauled, and then you've got one that's more picked up than I would expect.
Mhm. So is the board willing to pay $6,400 more for a local gentleman that we have a working relationship with and does other work on our roads? I'm not familiar with this work he does on our roads. I take it he's not doing this for free, right? We just have a working
No,
relationship.
that's created that really added some material.
Good to know. Thank you.
Because they understand that there's a lot of traffic there. We'll say that Lucas is also the smallest gap, so it's only what $6 and no, it's was it 450? 550.
550.
550 to have it delivered, whereas some of the other ones are $7 and $8 per yard.
Mhm. I will rescind my motion.
I'll second it.
Do I need a second on
I
that?
said maybe not.
Do you rescind as well?
No.
Oh, yeah, do I need
She's
to
a
wait for
deep
your?
thought.
Well, if you want to take it back, that's.
I'm doing
So am I.
I'm doing take backsies,
All right.
and I will make a new motion to accept the bid from W.A. Lucas for our salt provide, winter sand provider.
Okay, I'll second that one.
All right. Further discussion on that? All those in favor? All right.
Cameron here is. A lot of paperwork. Well, so I'm gonna give it to him. I've been known.
It's on camera. Old business, the American Legion Veterans Memorial Stone.
You can skip this item. They contacted me today and said that they've received all the donations that they need.
Oh,
Yay.
well, that's wonderful. All right.
That is great.
Moving on to the 2023-2024 property tax foreclosure waiver. I'll make a motion that we grant a waiver in property map number 014-002-006 to waive foreclosure on tax years 20 and 23.
I will second.
23, 24.
24.
23-24, my apologies. 23-24.
That's a big tax bill.
Yes. About that. All right. Further discussion? All those in favor? All right. There were no others to do with that. Okay. Fiscal year 2026, 2027 proposed budget.
So I need that. So I met with the budget committee meeting in February and we reviewed my initial proposed budget. I think it took like 2.5 hours to go through it the way that we did it. I don't know if that's what you want to do tonight or if you want me to just hit on some of the things that might have changed from the budget. Because I know you've all seen the original proposal. I think we should hit on the items that have changed since then, their recommendations were, and
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we need to go line by line, but if we just.
I don't even know if we need Cameron to go over changes that are the cost of living, wages, or but changes that are significant, something that's new,
Mhm.
different,
Yeah.
or
Right,
those things.
Yeah.
But
and specific questions.
they're all pretty familiar.
Yeah,
board packets, so people can review it, and if they have questions, they can reach out to me.
And we
I assume so, I don't know, I'll speak for you.
will be making that
Yes,
motion at some point.
we will.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, so you initially, when I proposed this budget, what I had proposed was it was a 2.05% increase to the budget. However, we had relatively modest increases to some revenues, which helped to offset a lot of that, actually offset all of that. And it resulted in a negative 5% increase. I did make some mistakes in my first draft, like the part for the sand shed. I forgot to put it in there. So it was like $4,500 to $5,000 that I forgot to put in. The budget committee caught it.
Mhm.
So we were able to fix that. Through the process going through the budget committee, they made a couple of small changes before the changes that really can't control that I'll hit on, which was adding $10,000 to the maintenance line for public works trucks, because they were concerned that with the aging fleet not having newer vehicles, that was going to be hit. We've had some substantial repairs. I foresee more coming, so they added $10,000 to my legal proposal. So all in, that was the first meeting. They added $15,000 to it. We then met on the 24th.
I'm sorry, 10,000 or 15,000?
15,000 total, so
Thank you.
5,000 for the tarp, 10,000 for the.
Okay,
the
gotcha.
maintenance. Then we met on the 24th. I told them all they'd have to do was approve their minutes, and then I threw more stuff at them. One of them being the tipping fee at Main Waste Energy,
Mhm.
which I had budgeted for 70, and it ended up coming in at 88. So we made that adjustment, which increased the solid waste line by $20,250.
And question on that if you want. I can answer questions about that if you want.
Oh,
If there are any questions.
Do you foresee it going up?
Beyond that.
Yeah.
So in the meeting. Basically, it came down to, we could either make a decision to keep it at the 70 that had been projected and pretty much guarantee that there's going to be at least one, if not more, assessments in the coming year, which really didn't make any sense to me. Because the problem with assessments is you can't budget for them. You know where they're going to be. Where it's per ton amount, we know that's what's going to be. Now, hopefully, if we don't need the money, it goes into that reserve account, which went from 5 million to nothing, and over time, and then eventually build it back that. So I was the one who made the motion at the meeting to increase it to $88. And when asked why, it means that the highest amount it could be increased to, basically, because we have to be no more than the lowest other rate that they have by interlocal agreement. But we're still planning for the shutdown, which is coming up next month, which is going to eat up another $1 million, probably $500,000. We're going to be $1 million. But we believe we'll have enough money for that, and this should prevent having to have another settlement. Can't guarantee it, but with our way of trying to make sure that we didn't surprise the towns again. That's really seemed unfair. We are working towards a process to get this information also early. There's a lot of towns who really having a hard time. These towns had town meetings in March, and of course they just got this information that they didn't have it at works. Still working towards a much bigger plan to get this all figured out. And as everybody knows, there was leadership changes there for the year. Everybody retired, everybody else new coming in. The road. If you didn't see the paper, there was also a lawsuit that was filed against the organization for unpaid bills, because that was obviously we have a financial issue going on. That bill has been paid. So Auburn paid their portion of the $1 million assessment, which gave them enough cash to get that done. So the owners are working together much better.
Thank you for the update.
Yep.
To that end, I'll be diving into it more in our upcoming solid waste committee meeting, but not only have we applied for the grant for the swap shop, I've been in communication with AvCog regarding the CRP grant. They gave me a litany of ideas for ways that we can use that money to help reduce tonnage added to our waste stream. And that includes even, obviously no official decision, and I'll just bring it up at the solid waste committee meeting, but an idea that contact gave me, her name is escaping me, but was communities have purchased a recycling trailer that they have placed in other communities that don't have those services so that they can haul that back to their community and pocket the profits from recycling those materials. We can get into the weeds with that sort of thing in the future. I'll have the email provided for the committee meeting as well. And then we discussed, and we have an upcoming meeting with the Maine DEP to reevaluate our plan for the transfer station. It hadn't been updated since 1995, which was before I was born. I'm almost 30, so. Yeah.
Just thinking that same.
So sorry, everybody. Yeah.
Short.
Yeah.
So there's
Great stuff.
okay.
Yeah, thanks for all that work.
Yeah, hopefully we can, even though this cost is going up, not that we can completely offset it, but there are avenues that we can kind of curb that cost and divert it into other things, thanks to some amazing great grant programs that the state currently has.
And that solid waste committee meeting is on the 10th,
On the 10th,
for those of you that are on there.
in Sumner this time, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
So with the $8,250 that I had to add based off of the tonnage, obviously Sumner has a share of that, so their 35% was an increase in $7,087 on the revenue line. So obviously the 20,000 wasn't all Buckfield, but there's a little over 13,000 that was increased for that. What else did I hit you with? Oh, good note was the municipal revenue sharing projections came out, and so I was able to adjust that by about 29,000. So that kind of washed out the increase for solid waste, which was good. So all in with the committee's recommended changes after our 2 meetings, the one thing they did vote on was the winter stand item, which was they had voted to go with whatever the board selected as the contractors. To prove it, we need winter sand, so that'll land wherever this just got us.
Mhm.
So before I add that in, their recommended changes ended up with, and the changes I had to make, we were looking at a 3.26% increase for the municipal budget, for a net budget increase after backing out revenues of -4.9. Obviously, that's going to change now because I have to do the winter sand adjustment, but it'll still be, it'll essentially, as it stands, without making any changes, will be a net negative for this year. The target's constantly moving. So as far as estimates and mill rates that everybody asks me every year, I did my estimates based off of last year's numbers, added in the new assessments that we had. Not perfect, it's an estimate only. My original proposed budget looked like a 20% or 20-cent decrease. With the adjustments, we were about the same, because it was a minuscule amount, but as we add stuff in, obviously that changes. And then that factors in only if the school lands at a 5% increase for Buckfield. So they end up at 10%, that changes. I had done preliminaries on that. If they end up at 10%, we're probably looking at a 25-cent increase per 1,000.
But none of that has anything to
No,
do with us, the school.
but people want to know, so that's why.
And we should, but I'm feeling strongly that to help keep the clarity that this board, our mission is municipal budget, and that we don't have any control over what the school does, and that we should make decisions about our municipal budget based on our municipal needs,
Mhm.
not on trying to mitigate what the school may or may not do.
Mhm.
Right, keep going, when you're done, I don't wanna stomp on what you're.
Yeah, that was the 30,000 foot view. I mean, I haven't gone through the actual budget itself. Um, I don't know how you want to do this. If you want at the next meeting to go department by department, not necessarily line by line, but, you know,
Yes.
see if the public has questions about.
So this is my suggestion on maybe how we tackle this. I believe we're all familiar with this document, that we take the time tonight to discuss any area that we have some questions, thoughts about, certainly discuss anything that anyone who's in attendance, whatever input they want. And then if we decide to make any changes or adjustments, ask the budget committee to come back together and give us feedback on any proposals that we put in here, and that we come back the next select board meeting and give the public, the community, the opportunity to go through one by, we won't read them all if nobody asks, but anybody who has questions or concerns, we can go through the whole budget before we vote on it. And then certainly have those,
Public
Hearings.
hearings, yeah.
right, the public hearing.
Yep.
But I think it's important to give folks the opportunity to weigh in before we vote on what goes.
I had given you guys a deadline of like April, so we have to have the warrant done no later than April 22nd. So there's time for you guys to discuss this and go through it. I don't want to wait till the last minute, but
Yeah.
The other recommendation too is maybe checking with the budget committee and asking if they want to have a joint meeting with you at your next meeting, since there's plenty of time to post it. That way they can make those motions then and there instead of having to have another meeting. They're pretty decent people to work with, I found, so. I mean,
Except for one.
some follow-up questions. She stopped into my office and we talked about some of her follow-up questions. It's good to have somebody ask some questions outside of those, just
Right.
things you don't think about, so.
I think the more dialogue we have, the more you can
Mhm.
flush it out and
Yep.
make sure we don't miss anything. So
So start
I don't want to tackle it that way.
Sure.
general government.
Yes.
Oh, I thought he was talking to you.
I'm more than impressed.
So I don't think it's any secret how big a fan I am of our town manager and how much I appreciate the work that he does. I applaud what he's given us with the fact that it's a net decrease. I think we're doing ourselves a disservice. I think that there are a few things that need to be addressed, that we need to look at. I'm not looking for a big budget, but there are things that if we continue to turn the other way are going to come back to bite us. One, I want to put out there is talk about 20 years ago when I first started to become involved in town governance. Every committee was full, and if there was an opening, there were applications coming to meetings. There were always a handful of people, and anytime there was any kind of topic for discussion, 12 plus people, positions were full. And at this point, I just went back and, 14 committees. On my paper, we have 14 committees, only 9 of them have a quorum. So we have 5 committees that don't have enough members for a quorum. We do not have I'm not sure what the title is, but a safety officer for the town. We do in name, because anything that we don't have, we just throw that at Cameron because we have to have it. We don't have a road commissioner. We don't have a health officer. And we have people who are stepping up, but just because we have to. We only have 3 committees that are full. I don't say this out of criticism. It's just an observation of the way it is. I believe the last 2 planning board meetings, and I may be wrong, when they met, they didn't have a quorum, so the meeting couldn't happen.
2 of the last 3.
2 of the last 3. So for whatever the reason, community members are either unable or are choosing not to participate like they did 20 years ago. And again, I'm not being critical of that. I'm just, there are things that aren't getting done because people aren't doing them. And so if we don't have people to come in and say, hey, I'm here to do this work, then we need to hire people to do this work, because we all suffer if this work does not get done. Recently I attended a safety meeting. I don't remember what.
402.
What?
G402. NIMS for elected officials. Talks about emergency preparedness. There you go.
That's what we went to, but emergency preparedness, and there was so much I had never even really considered, and there's a lot to that, and we should have an emergency, I don't know what was the title.
Management director.
Emergency management director, and that's big and that's serious. And I look back to a couple of years ago and we had all of that flooding, and we had an emergency management director, Viv, who was fabulous, put in so much time and effort. I remember how much time I spent with her putting in the information we needed in order to get the money back from government, the emergency funds. And I didn't spend nearly the time that Cameron did, and Cameron didn't spend nearly the time that Viv did. And if we had been more prepared, if we had been more efficient, if we had had more experience, I truly believe we could have recouped quite a bit more money. Not having somebody to do all of this legwork, to have all of this ready, disasters, I think, are going to look very different in the future than they did maybe 20 years ago. Who knows what's coming next, but there are a lot of pieces that we are required to have in place that we haven't put together as fully as we should. And there are plenty of things that we should have in place to best protect the community. So we put all of that together and say, here, town manager, you do it. And there just physically isn't enough time for one person to do this. We know this because intelligent people decided we need a road commissioner, and we need somebody to do this, and we need to have all of these committees, and we need to have people who have the time and energy to collect the information and put together the plan and make sure that things are ready for this town to run the way we want it to run. What I'm proposing is that we make room in this budget to hire someone, think in title of project manager, who can begin. I'm not saying that they necessarily would be the emergency management director if they are a good fit and this board wanted to put that person in that role. That could be a discussion down the road. Right now it's Cameron, but what this person could do is the research and the paperwork and the filing and the preparedness and creating all the forms to be ready for the next emergency situation. What this person could do is begin collecting all of that information you were talking earlier about the swap shop and what we could do and gathering things and putting the great ideas, fantastic stuff, but hours and hours and hours worth of work, and who's going to do it? Azalea can't do all of it, and I don't know how many people in the committee have the time or the skill or the.
Say none of them.
I'm
They've
guessing
made
you're
time.
doing a lot of this. Grant writing. If we had somebody to write grants, could probably
They could pay for themselves.
they could pay for themselves. So whether it's, I don't think it needs to start out as a full-time position. Maybe it could become a full-time position. I think we could certainly reevaluate after a year to say, you know, how much revenue did this position bring in, good or bad. But there are probably a couple other things too. My thoughts, I was looking at numbers. I would like to see a net budget that is not more than a 2% increase. I know that my household budget, every other budget in my life has gone up more than 2% in a year. The cost of almost everything has gone up more than 2% in a year. And if we can present a municipal budget with a net increase of 2%, I think that that's something that we could be really proud of. So
That's a 7% increase on it, average.
7.05.
Yes, that.
No, I just have the numbers. so it's-
No, I thought Abby did what she just. Oh.
so
So Abby-
these are some of the
Mhm.
thoughts that I'm having, because we do have some things that are getting ready to break and fall apart and go into the ground.
Yep.
And if we choose not to address those this year, we are going to have to address them next year or
When
the
it's
year
related
after.
to,
And maybe putting $10,000 or $20,000 aside this year means next year we only have to then do another 10 or 20 or 40,000 versus the whole thing next year. I just, to say, I'm all for keeping the budget as tight as possible, but if we don't do what we need to do as a town to take care of the town, I think the price that we will have to pay in the long run, problematic.
That's a lesson we seem to learn over and over,
Mhm.
that these ignored issues don't get better.
No,
Yeah, I hear ever since I first joined the board, I've heard the term, kicking the can down the road in relation to previous boards, and now we have the can. And obviously, we've discussed in the past a capital improvement plan that was, I'll just say, intimidating because of how much. There are stronger words for it. But that is what I will settle for. Is we have a lot of equipment, and to just maintain it, not to mention budget for its replacement in the future, which will happen. It's a lot. So yes, holding two things in my hands where I have experienced those same cost increases in just about every aspect of our lives. And also knowing that we can't keep, another phrase I've heard before, cutting our own throat because of those other increases.
Because that.
You had thoughts?
No, I think Abby did.
Abby?
Abby had thoughts?
Just didn't want to stand there with her.
Yeah.
Is up there, and I'm not like totally against it, but it's just, this isn't like a Buckfield issue. This is a every town out there issue. And so I just think if you're going to present this and want to put that as a budgetary item, it's going to have to be extremely well thought out. You need to figure out if you want to increase 2%, it's gonna be 7%. What is needed most? Because I don't know, I haven't done the research, but it's like, you need a road commissioner.
Yep.
Like, house, people, I just was putting it out there.
Right.
It's an example, it's not a, it's
Right.
is it a requirement versus is it a want? No, emergency management, is it a requirement, is it a want?
It's a requirement.
Yeah.
And we have all of these requirements that traditionally people in the community would volunteer for.
Right.
Or, do it for a small stipend.
Yeah.
And for
Volunteer
years now,
for it.
we've been trying very hard to get people to step up into these and, we talk to community members every day. You'd be great at this, you can do this, there's a stipend, there's this, there's that, we'll help you this and that, and no desire, I don't have the time. And again, I'm not sitting here to be, but these,
Everywhere,
Yeah.
everything.
As an example, I am the health officer. Right?
Thank you.
No stipend. There's no stipend. Just
There's no stipend.
stipend.
No stipend, and these cases require me and often the code enforcement officer to go to a residence, and you're there for, could be hours, maybe let's say 2 hours. Then I have to go home and type up a report.
Yeah.
And file it.
That's not a clean cut.
That's easy. Yeah, that's an easy one. Yeah, I mean, so I just don't have the time.
Yeah,
There are
no.
cases I need to follow up on.
Right.
It's just,
It's just one of those things that if you're going to present it and you wanna go up, you wanna put a big line item into the,
oh, yeah.
it needs to be as a,
A perspective relating to this grant writing idea, because this is something that I have wanted here for a long time. Because I have seen in the nonprofits that I work with, people fully pay for their salaries and then some with their grant writing abilities. So while it looks like a line item increase in our budget, they are bringing in so much money to our community that Cameron, Bob, Sandra, anyone doesn't have time.
How many other towns are going after this grant? And how much is the grant?
Mm-hmm.
And,
but there are hundreds of thousands
oh,
of
no,
dollars out there,
which
which people never get if we don't even.
It was just at a meeting with the main
I
DEP.
get it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, the amount of people going after grants is extremely high right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's going after a grant. Everybody's trying to do what we're doing.
Yes, Sandra.
And the town may say, no, we don't want to do this. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But part of what is, there's a real need. And, so I want to go back to the 2%. So right now, so you have and I'm not the big budget math wizard that many of you are and that Cameron is. We have our gross budget. How much do we need to spend? And then we have our revenue. How much is coming in? And right now, the amount that we're looking at that we need to spend is that on this paper?
No. That one's in your packet. It's the,
What page? I want to make sure I'm saying the right numbers.
page number 51 is where we landed at the end of the budget meeting. The committee.
Okay. So, so right now, municipal budget, 3.26% increase on the municipal budget. But given the revenues, our municipal budget would actually be a decrease of 4.9%. And so what I'm suggesting is that, that the municipal, we look at keeping the municipal budget at no more than a 2% increase. And yes, that may be more because of the school, but if the school was at 0, would we, if the school didn't change, would we do these things because we need them? And if what we're saying is, we're not gonna do what we need to do, and this is what we said last year, and this is what we said the year before, we're not going to spend money where we need to spend money because of the school. And we are paying the price all over the place. We are not prepared for the next emergency in this town. We are not prepared, and it will cost us more than the $40,000 it would cost upfront to bring in a part-time person to oversee these projects. And that person, again, may pay for themselves. They might even make money for the town. They will certainly pay for themselves if we have an emergency and we're looking to recoup the costs. But year after year, we are saying, we're not going to do what we need to do for this town because of the school, and we have no control over what the school will do. This is just something I feel very strongly about, because I think we need to take care of our town and its needs. But again, if this board feels differently, I respect that. And if the taxpayers in this town say, nope, let's keep going without the services and the equipment that we need, if that's the decision of the town, then I respect that.
It's back.
If the school thing happens, what year will it affect?
That would be,
It depends on how they time it out. If they were to meet the November election, it would be not this coming school year, it would be the fall. So like a year and a half out at least.
yes.
Not this.
Right.
Bob?
Yeah, just as a side note, I understand and you're saying that. Talking to some of the townspeople, I talk more with seniors, you know, and the younger folks. They're still upset over the increase from last year. And not looking forward to any increase. They just can't afford it.
Right.
That's, I understand we need to look forward, but we also have to look at what we can afford and what our townsfolk afford. That 2% that everything else is going up, that's already been eaten up for a lot of folks.
As a taxpayer, I get it.
You know, so.
But if we have an emergency, they're gonna pay even more than that, and that's my concern. You know, you have a repair that needs to be done on your car for $400 and you can't afford it, I get that, but then it breaks and now it's $2,000. And that's what we're facing in this town.
The road washed out, when we figure the road, because right up to the board.
And my hope would be is that we find someone who can write the grants, who can figure out this way to bring in more revenue, and that it will actually save us money. But again, I don't know, but
I think it's worth discussing and exploring.
I do too.
Yes, Glenn?
Have you factored any from fund balance into the current budget?
Not with the sheets that they're looking at, but the recommendation is going to be the same as the last 2 years.
had $100,000 crack out. Use $100,000 number. If you use $100,000 under the fund balance, it change these numbers.
No, if I use this, if they vote, or if the town votes to use the same amount as last year, the numbers they're giving you is the numbers that it'll be.
You have the availability of, say, 40,000 more if you need. Based on fund balance.
What the recommendation is gonna be based off fund balance, we won't need more than that.
But you have another 40 you could use, like,
Yes, theoretically,
so.
it would still comply with policy.
Right. Yes. For theory, you could recommend an extra $40,000 out of fund balance, which won't impact this budget negatively. Because that would be an offsetting dollar if you got put $40,000 per person. You put that more fund balance, the thing, correct?
I don't have 25 on it, so.
Right, I understand that.
Potentially, yes.
Potentially.
That-
Okay.
yes, that could.
This being, so therefore you do a 1 year job, $40,000 part-time, lay out a great job description, that I'd be more than happy to help with, that would really nail down what it is. And that way you can go to taxpayers, so we're gonna try this 1 year, will not impact your tax. So therefore, they're not gonna go up 2%, they may get down based on the town portion. So you can get some respect in the community there. But if that person brings in $80,000 that first year, then go back and say, this is a no-brainer.
Mhm.
That's.
I'm not,
Good.
that's a good idea.
And that's $80,000 is now in fund balance that you can use next year to pay for that same position.
I'm gonna point out that folks grant won't come in that quickly. Okay, I'm just saying, like, if you wanna think about the budget, like, and you're thinking, we're gonna go for 10 grants and it's gonna bring us in like $1.5 million. They won't necessarily come in until 2 years from now, or they'll have a plan of over 5 years, you'll get $20,000 a year.
But you'll know, you'll be credited. People know it's in.
On the smaller grants too, you know, the one-time deals for things like, I'll just use this as an example, for the windows that we got for the town office that are currently going in, that we've been sitting on for 2 years and are finally getting done. We built in, there's 10%, I think, for admin that we're paying AvCog to do the compliance stuff. That totals almost $10,000. So in that situation, that's a large chunk of that. So I get what you're saying from that perspective, and it's.
And it is beyond the grant writing thing too. It's also what more can Cam get done when he has less things on his plate.
And I'm actually getting ready to apply for CDS again, which is another example. That one will be a year and a half-ish before I find out about it, but that's a pretty lengthy application just in itself. I mean, I've been through it once, so most of it's there, but there's a few things I need to tweak on it. But if we brought that in and could actually place all the windows in this building and make some updates that need to be done, we're saving the taxpayers $400,000.
Feels warmer already.
Really?
In the office.
Yeah. They say that backfired because the new windows are over there. And the caveat to all of this is when we talk about needs and wants, and I know you're talking about that, and the budget committee is aware of this, that remount, I didn't budget for that difference in this budget. So we are kicking the can down the road till next year, hoping that we exceed revenue this year and rescue, and that the voters approve whatever's extra to go into that account to see what we actually need to raise next year. So just full transparency, there is $60,000 to $70,000 that we're gonna have to come up with in the next budget cycle, or before the next budget cycle. True.
So do I make a motion
I don't,
to change this, or can we just, how do we do this?
I want everybody to think about it.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
my recommendation was next meeting, we hit department by department.
Yeah.
And if you guys have recommendations for that department, you make that motion, so it's a nice steady list that I can follow when I have to write the warrant, instead of doing all these that I will screw up,
Okay.
because it's hard to follow.
So what I'm going to ponder, think about is,
I pay for
is that position.
Yep.
And then use the group could discuss that and
Yeah, I think it's great idea.
whether it should be fund balance or.
it.
and
Oh, yes.
ultimately the-
Yeah,
Thank you for bringing it up, Sandra.
yes, thank you.
Does, I'm just asking the two of you because technically, do you guys, would you like to meet at the same time as the select board? So if they make recommendations, you can have your own vote, or do you want to have a separate meeting after with the list and go over it that way? What would be easier for you?
Yeah, well, that's a question. In a joint meeting, they would have the table debating with that.
Right.
Supposed to be held separately, but votes were required, if they could actually be part of the actual discussion at the table.
Right.
So if you can make feedback instead of having to wait till afterwards and then have to go.
Right, yeah.
I've been a part of both types of budget committees, and
But we would meet at the next select board meeting,
on the 17th.
in a combination select board and budget meeting.
Thank
You
you,
have
Glenn.
to post a,
Thank you.
I got plenty of time to do that.
yeah, but I mean,
Two
you
weeks.
budget, you have to post 7 days. in advance.
So you can give me an answer before. Yes, yeah, our meetings are always at 6:30. Well,
Is having a joint meeting that, or structurally how to set it up, would it make more sense to have a workshop where it's discussion?
no, I do.
Vote on something.
You guys as a collective would have those discussions like you're having right now amongst you guys, but it would be the whole thing. So then you would make your motion and second and vote, and then you'd give them time to make a motion.
Either they want
Yeah.
to.
And they don't have to agree with you, but they can still do it all at the same time. And
Yep.
I can take my minutes and Abby can take her minutes and
Right, and certainly the budget committee can't make that work. We as a select board could talk about it and see if we can.
Well, there's two, as far as the budget committee goes, we only need 2 of us.
Yep.
You don't have to have all 3. So the 2 of us right now are saying we can both.
Okay.
At that meeting. So just, make sure we talk to Jake.
Yep.
If he can.
Okay.
Thank you.
I told him it was only one or 2 meetings.
Wow.
That's how it starts. The next thing you know, you're the health officer.
Or you could have been animal control. Wait,
I did.
you did briefly.
Make a motion that we post the next select board meeting as a joint select and board and budget committee meeting for the 17th at 6:30.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? Yes, Bob?
Just for your logistics. You want to go through your full agenda first and have a joint meeting after. You know what
So we
I'm
don't have to show
saying? So like
up.
we would be, let's say 7:15 or something for the joint meeting.
Mm.
That way you can get through your regular business.
Mhm. We are dealing with other.
Yeah, because you are gonna have probably an executive session at the beginning of that meeting that'll probably take.
Right.
Or
You
we
can
could,
just say to follow.
or we could set it to begin at 7, and if we need to kind of bounce around where we're at. Who knows how long things are going to take? So
Well, if
I
you,
wouldn't want them to be
if you
sitting
have,
around waiting for us.
if you have that executive session and it gets done in 15 minutes, you can recess that meeting until 7 o'clock. Whatever time you tell them to be there.
If you got one, your other business, you go through before.
Right, we could just kind of keep going and then at 7
Pause
o'clock,
for
we
your-
could make a motion to move to that.
Yep.
Order business and then,
I will amend my motion to be a regular select board meeting at 6:30, the joint budget meeting to happen at 7. Right?
Yep.
I'll second that.
All right. Further discussion on that one? No? All those in favor? All right. Committee appointments.
Before we move on,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, there are some areas in here where my concern is some of the costly pieces of equipment. Trucks for public works, perhaps equipment needed, public safety. This building, which fabulous windows. Maybe put some of that information on what, do we have a vehicle that we should put some money aside or look at replacing now because it's going to, either we pay $20,000 now or we pay $60,000 next year. I understand the need to try to shape this down, but are there things in here that are going to bite us? Could there be another big increase or something happen at the transfer station that we need to address?
I agree. I think we should at least reach out to the department heads because I know that they're aware of us trying to keep costs down. They're all trying to keep costs down themselves in their own lives. But if we can reach out to them and say, what are some priority needs?
What's being held together with duct tape right now?
Exactly.
Metaphorically.
Mhm.
I think a lot of that's already factored into this.
Okay.
Our department's the cascade system. I budgeted for 10,000 with the remainder of it coming out of reserve. That's really the only need of that department right now. Public Works, we've built that into the budget.
Isn't there some more equipment though?
Possibly if Stacy.
Say everything in rescue right now is good. I mean, our systems are all fairly new. I mean, we had to buy a battery this year, which thank God you guys had money in the budget specifically for that because it happened. Stacy does a good job I mean, we remount 4x1. We've got potentially a new ambulance, and then we've got an older, newer ambulance that we'll need later on, but not in the foreseeable future.
I remember us discussing the front loader that's used over the transfer station.
But again, that's a Sumner Buckfield decision, and I mean, that budget has ballooned 240,000 to now what 378,000 in less than 2 years.
About the road.
I mean, we budget close to $500,000 every year for paving. Bond years ago, that was shot down pretty quick with public. Next year's plan was already set in stone by the road committee, and then the following year is the smaller sections of roads like the hill next to Jim Ward and the leading into they're just is as we sit here and talk about taxpayers and looking at and all this other stuff, we're not talking about a $30,000 fix or $40,000 fix. We're talking $1.6 million fix for the things that need to be fixed. And unfortunately, just my opinion, this community cannot afford it. And I mean, we try to take care of things to the best of our ability, but it's going to take a lot more than the 1,485 taxpayers we have in this town to be able to seriously, I mean, unless there's an infrastructure grant out there. That is my biggest struggle, right? You do $460,000, but we really need 6.5 miles done. Do the math, and we do not have the resources that we need to do that. And it sucks because I wish I could go up there and get fixed right now. You know what I mean? It's, potholes right now with the
Get on the wrong side of the road on a corner to get around it. It's very dangerous.
it's a section of road that we can't just tear up and turn to dirt until we can afford to pave it. The culvert that's underneath that road is clearly judging by the last time I drove through it, I think that culvert's at the point where it needs to be replaced. And that was something that's a two-piece culvert, I believe, and it was done years and years ago. But I think what they did is they took one long culvert and they cut a hole in the side of it, stuck another culvert in it, so it's like a Y. And I think in the middle it's, I mean, that's just my guess, without tearing open the road and getting into it. The problem is if we tear that road open, we have to pave over it because that'll wash out in the first rainstorm.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's on my radar. A lot of sections of North Buckfield Road, we've got some, not back Bryant. Bryant Road's pretty bad. We've got sections that just completely need to be cut out and replaced. So the plan next year is to hit a lot of these smaller sections instead of long stretch sections to try and patch up some of the worst stuff that we got. I mean, we've spitballed the idea, the road committee spitballed the idea of literally reclaiming Sodom Road until we can get to Sodom Road. The Earl Jack, that hill's completely, there's only one lane. We just don't have the money to put into a road right now that has one or two houses that lead to Sumner. I wish I could give you a better answer.
We'll keep waiting for all that money Susan Collins says she's getting us to trickle down to us.
It's 8:30.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make a motion that we continue the meeting to close business.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Is there any more on the budget, or can we bring it up at the next meeting?
I think, I mean, I've hit on kind of the bigger items. I mean, I have no problem. If the next meeting you want to go line by line, I can. I just didn't know how you as a board want to do it. We've done it various different ways. And
Sounds like we're gonna gather information and then kind of
I mean,
confab again.
this is the latest version, so review it. If you have questions, and you can give them to me before the meeting, so I can kind of come here and just kind of hammer out on any of those. That'd probably be the most efficient use of time for you and me, and then allow the public to interject. But if anybody from the public wants to read it, it's posted on tonight's agenda on our website in full.
All right, we're good to move on now. Plan on the next meeting. All right. Committee appointments.
I make a motion that we appoint Angela McAllister to the planning board for a 1-year term.
I'll second.
Further discussion? All
Wait,
those in-
before she changes it.
Yeah.
That 1 year, turn that in.
There you go.
June 30th.
Gives her a chance to find out if she likes it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, all those in favor? All right. Other business, select board comments?
I have another business.
Yes?
I believe we had 2 applications for the Boston Cane,
Yes.
Oh,
and that window has closed. in all of your free time. So yeah, I didn't know. Basically, I think what we need to do is start with the oldest individual and just verify that they
Mhm.
meet the, as outlined in the
Mhm.
guidelines.
Yeah.
And if they do, then, you know, where we're at, and if not, the second person, do you have time to just verify?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have
And
the
then
ladies
we
at
can
historical
announce-
helping me with that too, so that's been huge.
See if I can give you the two applications. You
Thank you.
probably already know who they are, but
So then we can announce
Mhm.
at the next meeting.
the only reason I didn't add it to this agenda was because it was pretty loaded.
We said we were gonna do it, we told us only. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm.
Any other select board comment? No? All right, public comment?
Judy gone.
Yeah, Judy's gone.
Most people I've seen at a select board meeting in a long time.
Yeah,
Nice.
It
Lovely.
was. Thank you.
all right, so we're gonna go into another executive session. Pursuant to one MRSA subsection 4056A. Town manager evaluation.
This one, I guess we're gonna kick everybody out for, unless y'all wanna go back upstairs.
No.
No,
Yeah.
yeah,
Spoiler alert, I think we're gonna try to keep. It would just be my guess.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for
Thank you.
coming.
All right. Candy stipend.
That's your coat, right, Azalea?
That is
Okay, I was just making sure somebody didn't leave without their stuff.
Mhm. Good eye.
Oh, wait. You guys gotta make the motion in second on the record, sorry.
so I made the motion.
I will second.
All those in favor? Great.
She's at Riverview.
It was like, came back in, doing one.
No, that was the whole thing. She said, you know, it's only been a couple weeks. She can't stand.
So I found out this is the mic that's,
Oh,
Ah.
no.
people said I was breaking up. Okay, you can keep that one side.
I didn't think. She didn't. If I did, I would have said it to you before. I said it to them.
Am I reminding you at the right time to turn the flood back on?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Good. All right. So we're out of executive session at 9:14 PM. We're going to, we did discuss the evaluation and we're going to do some revisions on that for further discussion at the next meeting. At which point we will again meet with the town manager to discuss. Any further discussion on that?
No.
No? Then I will make a motion that we adjourn at 9:15 PM.
Second.
Yeah.
Is that unanimous?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Man. She wants to stay. I love the code.